Are we in trouble? Gabriel could potentially go to Saudi Arabia for over 50 million. Not only that, Real Madrid are interested. They just had an injury with Militao, who's going to be out for many months. And not only that, PSG is also interested. Everybody wants Gabriel, who in my opinion was one of the most reliable center backs last year, playing almost every match. That's insane. These days, everyone's getting injured. For us, we have Saliba get injured at one point, and Gabriel was there the whole season, healthy, playing every game, and that has attracted a lot of interest from Saudi Arabian teams, from the big guys like Real Madrid, and then PSG. So, do we let him go? I think not. Look at the depth at the moment. If we sell Gabriel, I understand, Ben White can go into the center back position. And keep in mind, Timber's possibly out for the season, if not for 99% of the season. So take away Timber. Gabriel's there. Unless there's a signing there in place to replace Gabriel after, no idea why that's even a question. At the moment, while I'm recording this, Arsenal's about to play Crystal Palace, right? I'm not sure when this will be uploaded, but they're playing Thomas Partey at right back. And then you got Tomiyasu left back, and then you have Saliba and Ben White at the center backs. I don't know if it's Arteta doesn't trust him anymore and he wants to sell him, seeing all these big bids come in from Saudi Arabia over 50 million. And obviously Real Madrid's gonna put in some money because they need a center back at the moment, because they were interested in Laporte. But man, oh man, I genuinely don't see why we should sell Gabriel. I understand Saliba is one of the best center backs in the league skillfully. But health-wise, we cannot rely on him just yet. He hasn't proven that he can survive a whole season without getting injured at Arsenal. Last season, he was hurt basically every big game against City. We need him. We need Gabriel to be available, and then we have the chance to have Ben White to replace Saliba if he's injured. So, by selling Gabriel, we are getting rid of our best left-footed center back. The only left-footed center back we're going to have other than Gabriel is Jacob Kiwior. And we're going to get rid of Gabriel. So, it's a bad move. It genuinely is. I would be very sad to see it unless we have like a big center back signing coming in instead of Gabriel. I don't see why there's any reason to get rid of him. It would be absolutely alarming in my opinion, because we will be getting a 50 million fee, but how will we be using that? I'm hearing the only people that Arsenal are really, linked with are fullbacks still. I understand we do have Timber, but Timber's out for the year. And this year we're in Champions League, and the Premier League got far better. I understand right now people are bantering the likes of United and Chelsea, but it's very early on, It's 2 matches in. You can't decide if someone's, if they're going to be 8th or they're going to be in the top 4 just off 2 games, Last year, Man United started off awful. They got embarrassed the first 2 matches. They lost to Brighton at home. They get killed by Brentford 4-0, and then they end up, beating Liverpool. 360s can happen, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not really gonna say, oh, you know what, United's finished, don't even worry about it. It's early days, lads. And then Chelsea as well. Pochettino has proven that he can take a Tottenham team all the way to the Champions League final. A Tottenham team that didn't really have much. The second he leaves, boom, they're cooked. But I really want Gabriel to stay. And I believe if Gabriel, and even Kieran Tierney, we lost Timber. If we want to let Tierney leave, it's going to be next year. But Timber, he was phenomenal when he got here. We basically, it's as if having Timber was having a Ferrari for a month, and then you blow the motor, right? And it's like, wow, it was a phenomenal experience, and then he's gone. Now you don't have the Ferrari anymore, and now you're stuck going back to the Honda, So that's basically what happened with Timber. We got absolutely blue-balled with him, but it is what it is. We move forward, and Gabriel, man, oh man, we genuinely need to keep him. I believe the depth is fine right now. We did lose Timber, but at the moment, no moves in the squad in my eyes. There's no moves to be made. If you want to get rid of anyone, it's going to be, the likes of Pepe, Nuno Tavares, all the ones right here in this picture. Everyone needs to stay. We're playing Champions League this year. The depth will come in handy once the Champions League kicks in, and the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup all at the same time. We need to save the squad for that. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is Evan Ferguson is possibly going to be Arsenal's number 1, target next year. 100 million price tag for Evan Ferguson. Man United has ruined the transfer market. How have they done such a thing? Evan Ferguson for 100 million. Lads, how have we let this lad go to 100 million and he hasn't done anything really impressive, Declan Rice brought West Ham their first ever, European trophy. I understand why 100 million. Jude Bellingham is a phenomenal talent that proved it at Dortmund. Had them competing for the league, had them competing in the Champions League. He was, one of the big factors of Dortmund's success. Harry Kane scored 30 goals on a very bad team. The lad was on pace to break Alan Shearer's record. You know what I'm saying? 100 million, completely understandable. Neymar, when he was sold for that amount of money, was one of the most talented, if not the most talented player in the world. You know what I'm saying? Paul Pogba had taken Juventus to the Champions League final. What has Evan Ferguson done to get a 100 million price tag? Play for Brighton? And we should not fall for their games like Chelsea did and just break a record of a signing for Caicedo, who did absolutely nothing. Caicedo did nothing meaningful for Brighton and it got sold for, more than the World Cup winner in Enzo Fernandez. It's absolutely insane. And in my opinion, Evan Ferguson, if he scores 20 goals next season, then I'll understand 80, 70 million. But, that Højbjerg signing, 9 goals. 9 goals in the season and he went for 70, 80 million. That's why Evan Ferguson's going to probably go for 100 million because he's going to score more than 9 goals this season. And, they're going to be like, you know what? We saw Højbjerg last season, or Højland. How are we going to match that? And it's going to be 100 million and we are going to be cooked. But another, external thing is we've got Ivan Toney over here twerking for Arsenal. My man saying, I am a Liverpool fan, but I love Arsenal. Basically saying, at Liverpool, there's a ton of attacking options. I'm a fan of them when I was a boy. But Arsenal, they just need that number 9. And he feels as if he could come in and do it. And you know what? In January, we put a cheeky 20 million bid. The price has gone down since he started gambling. So I would take an Ivan Toney. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you. I would take Ivan Toney even if he comes off the bench, as a super sub when we're down. He's a physical striker that you could dump it in the box and he'll get his head on it. And I feel like we lack that at the moment. Gabriel Jesus and Eddie Nketiah, that's not really their top thing. They can do it, but Ivan Toney's a physical striker. He likes to bang in the box, and I feel like we lack that at the moment. The physicality from a striker, And if we're willing to spend 100 million for Evan Ferguson, I would rather get Ivan Toney for 25 million, to be honest. And Ivan Toney's 27, Evan Ferguson's still like a teenager. But at the moment, we want to compete for a Champions League now. Evan Ferguson might be better in 5 years, but Ivan Toney's better right now. But anyways, make sure to leave a comment down below what you think about the potential loss of Gabriel. Or also leave a comment on who would you rather have, Evan Ferguson or Ivan Toney. Please let me know. Make sure to like and subscribe.